Hi guys, it's Flaky here and you're welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys for always coming back to watch my video. Thank you for your engagement, for your like, for your follow, for the subscribe. And if you're new on this channel, you know what to do. Kindly click that subscribe button and do not forget to like and share my videos with your family and friends. So today let's address the elephant in the room. I've seen a lot of videos. People have made a lot of videos supporting or being against being able to pay your school fee in Canada as an international student. This is my own version. So let's address this. Tons of video. Is it true or is it not true? Actually, either someone is against it or is for it. Depends on their own circumstance, especially if that person is actually a student that is experiencing what they are preaching. Not people that are not students but are telling you information about international students. You know, when someone is experiencing a particular thing, it's different from I know someone who does it, or I can feel your pain, like I can feel what you're feeling. You need to get this info from people that are actually doing it, and not just people that are doing it, but people that are doing it and telling you the real truth of the matter. So let's address this from my own perspective, and not just from but like giving you the real info. What some people are not telling you, those that are telling you that they can do it or you cannot do it. There are some things that they are cutting back on. You don't have the full gist. So that is what I'm trying to address today. So number one, the first question will be, can you actually pay your school fee as an international student in Canada? The answer is yes and also no, based on some circumstances. So I would like to explain it, why it can be a yes or why it can be a no. So for instance, for an international student that is coming in and has paid like half of the tuition fee. Imagine your tuition fee is 10,000 Canadian dollar, and before leaving your home country you already paid 5,000, and maybe your course is a year and a half. You know you are halfway gone, and depending on the school, some schools will give you the permission, like the privilege of paying maybe 3 times. Some will give you permission to pay like 4 times. So depending on the school you're going to, and some school is just by like terms. If your school is in 2 sessions, then you have to split the payment into 2 sessions. So for someone that paid like half of the payment from back home, they have just half to go. And if they should get into Canada on time, start their course on time, get a good job on time, they may be able to meet up, simply because they've paid half of the school fee and all they have left is just another 5K. If they get a good job, like I said, on time, they may be. It's not even sure. Because looking at the situation of things now, the thing you need to pay for in Canada is not just your school fee. There is a feeding you have to pay for. You have to feed, right? Because you can't even survive without feeding. And there is the house rent, and you guys know what is going on right now, and even all this backlash, all this bad blows about international students, is something that has to do with accommodation too. There is inflation everywhere. Like, people back home are complaining, people in Africa are everywhere, every part of the world. There's inflation, and this inflation does not exclude your house rent, neither does it exclude the food you're eating. So if you have been able, if for people that has been here for a long time, if they've been spending 500 on feeding per month or even 200, now you have to double. You have to double how much you spend on food stuff, or you cut down on how much you eat. Also for house rent is actually crazy. When I say crazy, and that is like what took the major part of your salary is house rent. And remember, this is not something you pay once in a year. It is something you pay constantly, like once every month. There is your phone bill, there is your Wi-Fi, there is everything, there is your electricity. For some provinces, I think they pay for gas. I don't know about that, but you know, aside the house rent, and for some houses, in the real sense of it, all these bills are inclusive, especially when you are sharing an apartment with somebody that is already been staying in that house. They might tell you, okay, it's all bills inclusive, but also you should notice that when they say all bills inclusive, the house rent is not going to be the same as people that are living in an apartment that they have to pay their bills separately. So these are the things you have to consider before you even think, okay, if I'll be able to go in there, come into Canada and be able to pay my school fee in full, solely. If you guys notice, for people that has been following me and has been watching my videos, I've mentioned it before that coming to Canada alone as an international student, that you are not being sponsored, like no one is sending you money from back home, it's nearly impossible. I don't want to say it, but yeah, I would say nearly impossible, because nothing is impossible. it is nearly impossible. And there is this new pandemic of international students returning to like claiming asylum. They end up claiming asylum because they could not afford, they could not continue to pay their school fee. So now, for instance, let's even break it down the more. Thinking about you paying your school fee by yourself, even after you've paid half from your home country, and you get a good job, do not be unaware that in Canada, as an international student, you can only work part-time, and that is 20 hours per week. So imagine you're getting paid $19 per hour. Also, depending on each province you are in Canada, the minimum wage differs. As of now, the province that pays the highest minimum wage is Nunavut. And when I'm saying Nunavut, this is even a province that you can hardly see international students going there, because it's a province that is so small, it's so cold, it's those parts of the country that people does not really want to go to. So hardly we use international students going to that part. And even when you go to that part, how easy is it easy for you to get a job? Because when you're coming to Canada as an international student and you intend to stay back, you don't only look at the school fee, you don't only look at the pay in that province. There are so many things you have to consider. You consider, do you have a community there? Are there so many other people that are from your country or that are from your race that you can mingle with? Do they have so many international students in that country? Are they friendly to external people? Are they friendly to immigrants? Is the country like, you can't compare Ontario with that kind of place. We can compare Montreal with such kind of province. So you want to check on some things after school. What is the is it likely after school? Is it likely for you to get a job? Can you settle in that province? Such things. So even that province that is paying $19 per hour is a province that people hardly go to, and they have their reason for actually paying that $19 per hour. And even, I'm not so sure there's so many job opportunities in that province. So for provinces that are like popular, like Ontario, for like Montreal, like New Brunswick now, because it is actually getting popular, like Manitoba, like Vancouver. Do you understand? These are places that are really, really, really expensive to survive, and their minimum wage is actually within $15.50, $15.25. Some is even $15, and some are $16. So imagine you're getting paid a minimum wage, because that's the standard. And for international students, most jobs international students get are actually minimum wage job. I'm not saying it's the standard for everybody, but that is the most popular job that international students get, because you're going to work part-time. And what are the kind of jobs that are available for you to do part-time? They are either hospitality job, like working in the restaurant, or even maybe care job. Some people are doing care job as part-time job. But most jobs that accept international students are jobs that are paying minimum wage. McDonald's, all these chains of restaurants, because they have flexible hours, and you cannot work in a company that doesn't have flexible hours, because you can only work for a few hours per week. So imagine you're even getting 19, that is the cap. Let's imagine you're in Nunavut and you're getting $19 per hour, and you can only work 20 hours per week. At the end of the month, how much does that amount to? So imagine deducting your house rent from such amount that you earn at the end of the month, and also like feeding, buying your food stuff. Do you think you have something less? Like, do you think you have something more to live on? Talk more of bringing it together, like the excess, because you actually have no excess. After paying your rent and paying your school fee, there is actually no excess. But if you're the kind that can like really, 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 really manage, you go to the inner parts of the province to get an accommodation. Mind you have to consider how far is your school to your location. Do they have public transport? So these are the things you look for even before going to provinces. Is your transport system working really well? Because you can't just come in a student and just instantly buy a car. Do you understand? And you can't rely on taking Uber. That's even it's a no-go area, because that you're still hustling. So Uber is not an option. Having a personal car is not an option. So you have to think, this province, what is their transportation system like? Do they have communities of Nigerians, communities of Ghanaians, communities of are they friendly to immigrants? Do they have so many job opportunities there? Because if there is no job opportunities, people that can work full time have not gotten job. How much more do you think they will take you that is willing to work only part time? So these are some of the things you need to actually look into before believing people that are saying, oh, you can work part time in Canada and pay your full school fee. My dears, it's a lie, because yeah, they are not telling you the full gist. People that have seen that said something like that, they're actually people that have paid even maybe almost all of their school fee. Some just have just some few thousands to pay. Not people that are coming. If you know you are coming from a humble background, you have no sponsor, there's nobody that is coming with you that is going to work full time. You cannot last few months. You will not last few months, because it's getting worse, to be candid. Now it's even getting even more serious. All the restrictions that are in place, there is a reason why they're in place. So it's not as if they are just doing this to say we don't want you. It's because things are actually going on. See, plenty things are happening. You've heard that before. Plenty things are actually happening. So don't fall for that trap. Not even only in Canada, even people in UK are stressed. Like, I read the news about some students that are sent out of school, like they are blocked. The portal is blocked because they couldn't pay their school fee. Things are happening, and you don't want to end up with that kind of situation. You don't want to regret that coming, because if you came in and maybe you are like 3 months in school, you've already paid some fees that are not refundable, and you couldn't progress, you couldn't pay anymore, then they have to send you out of school. What do you think will happen? This is not to create fear in anybody's mind or something, but this is for you to be prepared. Sweet talk on YouTube, on Instagram, on everything. Don't fall for it. Just know who you are, know what you are worth. See, me, I used to say this thing like often and often. No, they follow people. Now you know yourself. You can't compare your journey with someone else's journey. Some people back home, they are sending money to them. If they call them like this, hello, I don't have money for food. They are sending them money. But if you know that there is no one to call back home, rather they will even call you back home to send some dollar to convert to naira or to convert to whatever currency they are spending in your country. You want to think twice before coming. It's better not to even come through that study route at all than getting here and getting stuck. Guys, I'm saying it like I mean it, like I'm experiencing it. It is not possible for you to come into Canada and pay your school fee by yourself. No. It's a no. If you don't have somebody that is supporting you, like maybe your husband or your wife, that is going to work full time for you guys to survive, because that is the only way you can survive. Someone is working full-time job, like I mean a real full-time job, 40 hours minimum per week. You can use that money to like sort your school fee. While the one you're hustling, you can use that money to maybe feed. If you know, if you are able to like live within your means or even live below your means, get the cheapest accommodation. Like, you shall know what I'm saying. Eating, you're not eating too much. You know where to get the cheapest of the cheapest food stuff. Some people are even getting free food stuff. The cheapest of the cheapest groceries. Like, you're the kind that research. You're not just, they say there is a supermarket here or there's a store here, you just go there and buy. These are the ways you can cut costs and also be able to like survive as an international student that is not sponsored, that doesn't have someone sending them money back home. Honestly, things that are happening right now, I feel so bad for some people, because I have few people like that that just came in a few months ago, and up to date they are yet to get just a single job. I mean, not even a single job. For you to know how tough it is, things are not the same again. So for some people, it's not easy, and some people are already blaming themselves for even coming in at all. So you want to like prepare yourself before coming in. Don't follow that person that say, yeah, you can come to Canada and pay your school fee by yourself. If they didn't tell you, they've paid almost, some of them have paid more than half before coming in. So if they are not telling you that part, be prepared that if you want to come in by yourself and think you can pay your school fee, then you must have paid the largest part of that school fee before coming in. Otherwise, it's not possible. So I don't want you to get stuck or get stranded after coming into Canada. And this is why I'm sharing this for you today. I am here with my husband, and that's the only way you guys can see me even showing up at all course. It's not easy. It's not even it's not a child load. So you guys don't want to even fall into that category of people that will say, had I known. No, don't say I don't know. So prepare yourself. If the other means for you to come in, come in. If you know this is the only way for you to come in, just make sure that you are loaded. Or better still, if you have fiancé or if you have husband that you are thinking of leaving back home to just come first, now lie you, just make sure that you gather all of the strength that you have all of the money that you can gather, make sure you come in together. If you can leave your children back home, that's okay, but at least come with your partner so that you both can hustle together and be able to survive. That's the only way. So this is all I have for you today, and I hope someone gets 1 or 2 things from this video. And guys, do not forget to like, do not forget to share, do not forget to subscribe. And until I see you in my next video, I remain your girl Flicky. Bye and have a good one. See ya.